Welcome to the Belly of the Beast, Macomb Fieldhouse, the wrestling room, the wrestling show. There's snow on the ground.
Yep.
It's officially here, I suppose. It's been a while since we've hung out, but I don't know if we need to necessarily go into the wrestle-offs. It feels like that was too long ago. So Michigan State, we'll recap that in a minute. The Clarion Open, maybe kind of doing this reverse order, but the Clarion Open might be a glimpse to the future because you didn't take the starters, quote unquote starters. So
Yeah.
some of the young bucks that got some of their first taste.
Yeah. One of the things that happens now with a lot of the schedules with wrestling is with the new rule in place that you can't wrestle any outside competition with a true freshman until second semester after their first semester grades are posted. You try to build a schedule where you can get them events, you can get them competition. So Clarion's close enough, and we can get 15 to 20 guys that are, some are second year guys, third year guys, non-starters from wrestle off results, whatever they are, and then we get the freshmen down there and get them some experience. A lot of guys, got a lot of matches in, kind of, wrestled tough. Like, I thought we could do a little bit better, but our guys showed up. Preparation was there, and then the big thing is with the effort. Our guys' effort and preparation is key. So that really is gonna pay dividends down the road. Learning that process and kind of embracing that process and understanding what you need to do to build yourself into a pretty tough college wrestler.
Now, the one thing that I think we probably learned, or at least we felt that we learned, I guess time will tell, in wrestle-offs, it felt that there was a little bit more offense. There was a little bit more scoring. There was, we talked for, it wasn't good, but there was a lot of end-of-period points given up, that we sort of, but it felt like that got tidied up. Did you think that carried over to the Clarion Open and to the Michigan State Open?
Yeah, I mean, the wrestle offs are sometimes a different feel when it comes to wrestling a guy that you train with every day or see the same looks all the time from the same person. So getting offense going through familiarity of your opponent is important, and it means you just go out there and compete, and understanding competing is a a process, and you got to make the most of your opportunities when you're out there. So especially when it's for the starting position, or at least a gauge in the starting position. So Clarion Open, the guys went out there, and some of them were like a little bit of deer in headlights moments where they're learning the process and trying to understand the adjustments they have to make. And then going into Michigan State Open, a little bit of a bigger tournament than Clarion, with different opponents from the Midwest over there. It creates a good environment to kind of learn who you are as a wrestler, and kind of bounce back from some of those losses, or you take a loss, you gotta kind of soak it up and understand why it happened. So that's what we talked about a lot. So, and we had some promising performances. We also had some guys that underperformed, so we just got to make those adjustments.
Now, obviously the Michigan State Open, Ryan Burgos at 165 won the Michigan State Open.
Yeah,
that's a story because, I mean, let's be honest, and we've talked about it, his entire career has been what if. Well,
yeah,
pretty good place to start in a weight up. So, obviously evaluate what he did.
Yeah, Ryan, Ryan went out there, and he's a pinner. He likes to put big moves up if he can. He's savvy. Sometimes he's too savvy for his own good with his leg defense and stuff like that. So we always talk about the don't let guys see your legs so easily, but he
likes it.
He likes it, and sometimes it causes unneeded injuries or just stress on himself. But he actually he was in the semis. He was really good. Second year guy from Ohio State, was kind of taking it to him for a little bit, getting a lot of takedowns on him because he was letting his legs give up. He understood that, and he ended up, kind of going for a big move against them. And it's not like it wasn't surprising to us because he hits that a lot. So he ended up pinning the kid in the last period, in the third period, with about a minute left. So it was a good victory for him. Kind of like, all right, I belong at this weight class moment. So he, it is Ryan's fourth weight class. He started off at 41, 49, 57. Now he's up at 65. So. He and
I have gone the same incremental weight.
Yeah, well, as we all have. But so he kind of then he wrestled a really solid final. Just kind of fundamentally did really well at the finals. So
now, obviously we'll get to Jared McGill, who's not yet wrestled, but for Ryan, again, we talk about the expectation. This is just a building block, right? And that the adjustment in the body type. How did he look compared to? I mean,
he's looking the part.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always preach that look the part. So, it's more about, is his style good for that strength? Because the kids are going to be stronger at 65. So it just depends. Like with the type of wrestler you got, if it's a box, he's really strong, top 10 guy in the country. He can't let a guy on his leg. They're going to finish on you.
Yeah.
So he's got to figure out how to like wrestle more a little bit baseline, make sure he's getting to his leg attacks, cutting his angles quicker, those things. So if he kind of understands the environment he's in, I think he'll do fine. He's going to run into a hammer that's going to put him in a tough spot with the strength, but Ryan is kind of strong himself, so we'll see how it goes.
Chris Vargo, 125, I thought looked maybe the best at wrestle-offs in terms of being complete, and he got a championship at Michigan State as well.
Yeah, very business-like mentality, goes out there, all business all the time. Kid's a serious kid, and he wants to hit his goals, and I think if we had a bunch of Chris Vargos that were focused and passionate as bunch, I mean, everybody would be happy with that on any team. So, but we do got a bunch of those guys. We got a lot of guys that are serious. We just got to kind of step it up to the next level. So Chris has what it takes to be pretty successful. This year, I think can he get to the national tournament? Yeah, for sure. Can he be in the top 10? I hope so. But like I would say, he's very serious, and I hope he can just keep on climbing that mountain that he's fearless against that mountain. He's always climbing it, and he doesn't care. So he's a great kid to have on a team, and he was very deliberate, executed all his moves pretty well. Couple mistakes here and there, more so because he was really aggressive in certain areas. But he's a student of the sport, and he had a good weekend. So
now we sort of wrap up the Michigan State Open, segue into VMI Sunday at noon. Let's start it at 25. I think the biggest thing is you got to stack, and if you don't at least back up last year's dual meet with this, then it seems like last year's kind of the outlier.
You don't want to regress,
but Vargo is a guy that I think is going to be a bonus point contender most of the time out. So let's start at 125 with his matchip.
I mean, I don't know his specific opponent, but I would say like Chris has really developed a niche for top, and he's always been a good top wrestler. But I think with Coach Shop and some of the tilts and stuff like that, he's a guy that can definitely get bonus points. He had a few bonus point wins at Michigan State Open, so he's going to go after it. He doesn't want to sit back. He wants to score points, and I think he's really starting to buy into top wrestling. So
at 33,
Eamon Ole.
I mean, Eamon Ole is like, I mean, tell me if you disagree, but I feel like Eamon Ole is one of the kids, maybe the kid that could kind of take you to the next level. I mean, there will be bonus points.
Eamon had a pretty competitive, good weekend at Michigan State. He didn't really wrestle many matches last year. He only wrestled the Clarion Open, I think, the Michigan State Open, and then he ended up tearing his shoulder up and had to get surgery. But he committed to going down to 133. He's really lean and looks great for the weight class. He will go out and throw the kitchen sink at you. But he also has really good baseline wrestling. So I think he has to kind of balance those because he can put himself in trouble, but also he knows how to wrestle really good baseline wrestling and score points, control the match, don't make life so stressful on himself. But he's a guy, he's a pinner too. He's a pin. I hate to say he's a pin or be pinned.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun.
I hate the be pin mentality. So I mean, not mentality, but aspect of his wrestling, and he knows it. We just talked about it about an hour ago about like I don't know what's going. He kind of blanks out. He just goes hard and tries to pin guys. But hopefully he can control it and kind of just keep on progressing and stay healthy. Smart wrestling creates more healthy situations. Longevity in this season is important. So doing those baseline controlling motions that are going to be higher percentage of effectiveness against your opponents are going to keep you healthy. So
another weight, 141, where it kind of feels like the sky's the limit, right?
Jacob, he went out. He placed at the Open this past weekend. I would say he was one of those guys that we talked about. He underperformed, but I think he's just getting back into the groove. He redshirted last year, had a pretty decent red shirt. I mean, when you redshirt, you're not wrestling day-to-day Division One opponents. So when you go to Opens, you'll pick up some D2, D3 guys, some non-starters, some other D1 teams. But now he's wrestling good guys, so he's got to understand, like, you are the man, you are the guy at the weight class. So you got to start being a little bit smarter to wrestle, and you got to start scoring points more often. And he's got a lot of tools. He's got the ability to get out there and make some noise. I'm looking for some good tough wrestling over these next 4 weeks are going to be challenging for some of them, and hopefully they all rise to it. So
excuse me, 149.
Ryan Michaels.
Ryan Michaels is, you talk about the seconds that matter, right?
Ryan. If you talk to him, he's not happy about his weekend at the Michigan State Open. I think he probably underperformed as well. But the kid can wrestle. He's just got to hone in and kind of. I always say, like, don't let guys to your legs so easily. And, like, sometimes it's a curse for certain guys because they have good leg defense. But ultimately, you get let guys to your legs too many times, someone's going to finish on you. So he's learning those lessons. He understands what he needs to do. He's a veteran. He's a very savvy wrestler. He has a lot of skills, and I think he'll actually. I think that's one of their better guys in their lineup. So he's gonna have a good matchup against VMI.
And then 157 is
Garrett.
Yeah, I mean, he's in terms of looking the part. He certainly checks that box.
Yeah, Garrett's right on there. We believe in his ceiling. We believe that he can do really well. He's still young. He's learning. He's got to figure out what kind of wrestler he is. He's a power wrestler. I think he's got to get more into the skill set and more finesse and be able to hit his game plan in a match. And once he understands, he's got to kind of develop a game plan and execute it, because he's a machine. The dude works hard. The guy, he overtrains, so we actually have to hold him back sometimes. So,
and obviously we talked about Ryan at 165.
Another guy we didn't talk about yet at 74. We'll move up to there is Tate Gazer. He's a hammer, workhorse. It's like the best way to describe him. Solid, boxy, hard wrestler. He's going to give everything he has no matter what. He took third at the Michigan State Open, and he has a big ceiling this year, and we're hoping for big things out of him. He's got to show out. I mean, I think a lot of these guys got to realize how important these next 3 to 4 weeks are, the tournaments we're going to and the competition they have, and hopefully they got to upset some guys. They got to get out there and get a top 10 win or got a top 20 win, 25 win, whoever it is. But they got to break into that scene of being one of the better guys in the country.
Now, some of the young guys, you take the training wheels off. Then there's McGill. You got to put the walker to the side. He told me the other day he's on a pitch count. He's not yet wrestled.
No. So we talked about that coming into his 7th year as an athlete, getting another waiver due to some injuries and stuff in the past. That we didn't start. We're not starting until this weekend. That was our game plan back in May. So he understood that, and we kind of geared up for this. Was the start of his season, and he's a guy that very skilled, knows how to wrestle. He's excited. He knows it's his last. Last round to get to his goals, get the NCAAs, and hopefully get on the podium. So we're excited. He's one of our team captains, and we did name our team captains Chris Fargo,
yep,
Ryan Michaels, and Jared McGill. We select them as a coaching staff, and we thought those guys were the most worthy of that title for this year. So
now 97 Brody Evans. We talked about guys that maybe kind of underperformed a little bit, but Brody's a unique case because. You talk about the power wrestler, but he's another guy that really feels like there's another gear there, and when he finds that and turns the corner,
for sure. Brody's very athletic, and he has a little chip on his shoulder and he wrestles, so he's just got to kind of learn how to manage his matches where he's not waiting till the end of the match to score. He's not sitting back and kind of accepting the hand fight. He's got to go out and take it to his opponents. And once he learns that, he's going to beat good guys. He's got to kind of listen to us a little bit better when it comes to his attacks and being able to get after the first period, not the last 30 seconds of the third period. So he knows that. He underperformed at the Michigan State Open. I think the nice thing about it, it's no one really remembers what you did at the Michigan State Open, that beginning, unless you beat someone really good and it helps you with your rankings. But I mean, the nice part is like it's a great reset. Just rebound from it, go out there, kick some butt against your next opponent, whoever it is in front of you, and keep learning from it. Stay healthy and kind of just go one day at a time. So
last but not least, heavyweight. Aiden is, I mean, he looks great.
Yeah.
But he's sort of in that unique spot where he looks great, but there's going to be some times where he's going to be on the smaller side.
Yeah.
At that
I think
weight.
we had a good practice yesterday. Really talked about what he has to do to jump levels at the heavyweight division. And I mean, he's been a heavyweight. It's not like he bumped up there, but he is a smaller heavyweight. He's grown. He's gotten a little bit bigger. He's put a lot of work into staying big. But yeah, there's an equation to heavyweight. I always call it chop the tree down. Keep chopping, and get those big guys tired. And you just got to buy into it. You have to buy into it. If you don't buy into it, you're just gonna be stuck in the mud. So buy into that. Kind of, not say just sit there and not wrestle and pull on the head, but continue to wrestle hard. Always push the pace. And if you can do that, there's a big return on your investment if you want to go and get into deep water with those guys.
I know it's a little bit early and we're a couple days out, but is there any particular match on Sunday that kind of stands out that might be the headliner?
I know their 49 is pretty tough. And they have two decent 197 pounders now. I think their 84 is up at 97. Maybe we down at 84. I'm not sure. But I think those are the two probably weight classes are going to be probably the pretty good matches. I mean, on a side note, I'm not sure. Jim Gibson was a former teammate of mine, and he's the head coach at VMI. So we're happy to have him up here, and he's from Hermitage, down south of here a little bit. So he's glad to come back and to his alumni and wrestle us. So we're excited to have Jimmy up here.
Now, you talked about, before we get out of here, because you talked about the next couple of weeks. There's the trip to Vegas, but in particular, sort of, I don't want to say prioritize, but prioritize, what's on the schedule, as we wrap up the calendar year of 25.
Yeah, I mean, VMI is going to come in and wrestle us hard. We got to be prepared and ready for anybody. We have to understand every opportunity to wrestle has to be valued at a high level. So we're excited for that for this weekend. Hopefully get a good crowd out there. Let's get everybody out. Then we have, the Keystone Classic is a great event. We go over to UPenn and they run a great event over there. And there'll be, I think, 8 to 10 teams that are similar to ours, but we'll have some good looks. Virginia Tech will be there. And so we'll have some really good competition there. So that's nothing to really overlook either. I mean, obviously Vegas is Vegas, and it's a monster in itself. Toughest tournament besides the NCAA championship. So 2-day event. We need guys to get to the second day and get in the placing, upset some guys, be in the conversation in the national rankings after that weekend. Go out there and show out. That's why we go out there. So it's good for our guys to kind of get a cool event like that under their belt before the holiday season starts up.
Now, this is a sort of a gotcha question, but are you good? Like, are you happy where you're at roster wise? You happy where you're at health wise? You have going in? I mean, the opens are the opens, but the door.
I'd say I don't want to focus on the outcomes. I want to focus on the process of building this team into a really good team in March. So the outcomes will happen regardless of what happens with that day, that event. But it's going to be the process leading up to each event, and I hopefully the outcomes kind of take care of themselves because we did everything right beforehand. So focus on the process, focus on what we can control. But I feel good about our team. I like the group of guys we have. I believe in them. I think we have a good culture. We have guys that are responsible and serious, and if we can keep that type of wrestler in abundance on our roster, I think we'll just keep progressing. So regardless if we had a bad Michigan State Open or I kind of always go with letter grades. I say C- or B-, and I think both of the opens were in the C areas, maybe C+, C, depending how you look at it. But there's always room to grow. There's always room to digress, obviously. But I like the group of guys we have, and they're working hard and they're competing hard on a daily basis in the wrestling room back here. So
that's the difference between you and me. C's got degrees for me. You're not happy with it. So.
Yes.
All right. Until next time, the Edinboro Wrestling Show. Hopefully you can Make it out to Macomb Fieldhouse.
Starts at noon.
Noon.
Yeah,
Noon
noon.
start, VMI. Until next time.